Hi there. Happy Wednesday. Hope you are having a good day, staying calm, staying safe, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for watching Monday's lesson. Today's going to be a little bit shorter. Probably one of the most important things you can do before you start a speech is to write an outline. So hopefully most of you have done some sort of an outline before, maybe even just for a paper, for English, or maybe for speech in high school, you had to do an outline, but it's important because it's the bones of the speech. And once you've got your outline together, your speech is pretty much done. It's just ready to practice. So a couple different outlines. One of them we're going to talk about is your preparation outline. That's the one you're going to put all your research, all your transitions, your main points, all that stuff, all the details in. That's the one you're going to turn in. That will be typed and nice and pretty. And then you've got your speech outline, which really is just your notes for your note card. I don't ever see those. Those are much more abbreviated, and those are what you're going to use while you're giving your speech. So we will start with the preparation outline. So the reason the outline is so important is because if you don't have an outline, you don't know where to start. You don't know what your main points are. You don't have your details. It's not going to be organized. So that's why the outline is the very first thing you do. If we were still in the seated class, your outlines are always due on the first day of speeches. But since we're not, they'll be turned in before you give your first speech. So if your first speech tentatively is going to be on April 27th, 28th, your outline's probably going to be due the week before. So just want to let you know you've got about 3 weeks advanced in that. So as I was saying, the preparation outline is your main outline. That's the one you're going to put everything in. You're going to have your topic proposal. You're going to have your specific purpose, your central idea, your 4 parts to the intro, which we haven't even gotten into that yet, your main points, and your conclusion. So it's got everything. It's even got your transitions written in it. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what that'll look like before we finish today too. So all the things that your preparation outline contains are, like I said, a title, your specific purpose. In this case, it's to inform something, your central idea, which is kind of is your thesis statement, your introduction, your main points, your subpoints, your connectives that we talked about on Monday, your conclusion, and then also your bibliography, because you will have to have some sources for this first speech. So some guidelines. You will definitely want to state your specific purpose. In this case, for your first speech, it's going to be to inform my audience the 3 parts of a bundt cake. I just made that up randomly. My specific purpose is to inform my audience of the history of salsa dancing. I just made that up too. So that's what that's going to look like. Your central idea is your one, remember, your full sentence, your thesis statement of what the speech is. So the history of salsa dancing starts in the Latin America in the 1500s and then evolved to popularity through the 70s and 80s, and now has become a competitive dance popularized by Dancing with the Stars. I just made all that up. None of it's true. But gives you an example of what a central idea. Then you're going to label your intro, and then the body of your speech, and the conclusion. Those are the 3 main parts of your speech. You will use symbols. You'll have, Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, and then under those, capital letters A, B, C. You'll have your main points and your subpoints. And I do provide a template for you all to make it super easy. You just fill in the points according to the template. And if you do that, you're going to be fine. Attach your bibliography. It doesn't have to be in any certain format because I don't require MLA or APA or MBA or any of those. I just want it professional looking and easy to read and understand more than anything. And then you definitely want a title to your speech. So some of the things you need to think about: your symbolization and indentation showing relationship among main ideas. So for example, you're going to have your main point. The history of salsa dancing started in the 1700s, subpoint. It started with a guy named Joe Piscopo, subpoint. Joe Piscopo made it famous. This is getting really bad. And then you've got your subpoints underneath that. Second main point, subpoint, subpoint. So you can see it's kind of easy to figure out where your speech is going here. Bibliography, you definitely want to list that. You want to list your sources anytime you give a fact, anytime you tell us a statistic, anytime you give us any kind of specific information that we don't think you probably knew off the top of your head, you're going to need to have a source for that, just like you would in a paper. It's the same thing. That's your preparation outline. Your speaking outline is the one that you're going to use for your note cards. I don't see this. It's a lot shorter. It doesn't have to be complete sentences like your preparation outline. It can just be bullet points and something you look at during your speech briefly to remind you of what point you're going to make. So in your speaking outline, you want to keep the same kind of framework, use indentions to make it easier. You want to make it legible. You don't want to scribble your notes on your note cards and then you go to give your speech and you can't read what you wrote. You want to use brief sentences. Now, I've made this mistake when I had to do a presentation when I was in graduate school. I had to do a final presentation to students, to faculty, and it's something they make you do when you get your master's degree. And I was terrified that I was going to forget what I was going to say, so I kept just adding more and more and more to my note cards. Next thing I know, I had half my speech written on my note cards. Well, guess what? There was too much on there. It was too hard for me to read. So I just winged it and didn't even wind up hardly using the note cards. So yeah, keep them brief, keep them legible. I even recommend using a Sharpie to write on your note cards so it's easy to see too. So you want to include delivery cues on your note cards. So what's a delivery cue? Anything from change the slide to pause here, to maybe ask a question twice, to be sure to make eye contact, anything to help remind you of what you need to do during your speech. So those are the main parts that you want to include in your preparation speech and in your speaking speech. So I've got a couple of examples that I'm going to show you. These are all posted on Canvas. And when you start working on your outline, you can use these to go by. And I'm going to try to find what these look like now. I'm having trouble finding what I'm looking for. I'm seeing everything but what I need, right? Okay, I'm going to start with this one. So this is, okay, here we go. This is what the template looks like. So when you start working on your outline, this is the guide that you can use. So you're going to start with your title, your specific purpose, your central idea, and then we'll get to the parts of the introduction later. But then you can just fill in the blank. One main point, second main point, third main point. You don't have to use all these letters and numbers. If you only have a couple subpoints for one of these, you can delete these, you can add more, whatever you need. This is just kind of a guideline. And then of course at the end, the main points to your conclusion, and then your bibliography under that too. So what an outline should look like. Your outline might be a full page, it might be a couple pages, it might even be 3 pages. Some people are way more detailed than others, but this is what it should look like. This is also posted on Canvas, so you can use this as a guide. And it'll just kind of help you know what your outline should look like. You You obviously, again, don't have to have this many points or subpoints on here, but the important things that I look for are it's typed, it's good grammar, it's good punctuation, they're full sentences. If you notice at the end of all these, they all have periods at the end for the most part. So you want to make sure you're consistent about that. That's your preparation outline. This is the one that you're going to turn in. This is what your note cards might look like for your speaking outline. See the difference? You've got your main points, you've got short sentences. The only time you want to write out something completely like this New York Times part is you probably want to do that if you're doing a quote. So that you get the quote right and you don't forget something. So other than that, you just want to use short, brief words. They don't have to be full sentences, just whatever's going to help you remember what is in your speech so you can remember what that looks like. Okay, the preparation outline and the note card outline are all posted on Canvas so that you can use those and use those as a guideline. And I found that that makes it a lot easier for a lot of students when they're working on their speech outline. So next, I will be assigning on Monday you to do your topic proposal. And I've also got a guideline for that posted. So if you want to start working on that, that's fine. I don't have a way for you to upload that onto Canvas yet. I'm still waiting on the department to tell us how they want everybody to do that. So in the meantime, once again, if you can comment that you watched it, that you saw the video, I'll count you as here in attendance. You've got until Monday class time to watch this one and to do that. So chapter-wise, be keeping up on your book. We covered chapter 9, chapter 11 this week. We'll be covering chapter 15 and 14 next week. So you can keep up on that. I've posted the PowerPoints if you want to see those for review. And we will just keep pushing on. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your patience. And I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're safe. And I will talk to you on Monday. Take care.